Hello, I'd like to go over the study guide for the quiz tomorrow. This study guide will be very, very similar to the quiz students see tomorrow. And the questions on here are exactly the type of questions students will work on tomorrow. So the first question on their quiz is going to look like this question here. Students need to analyze this diagram and determine a multiplication expression that represents the area of the shaded region here. So area, again, as we've talked about in previous units, is the length of a rectangle multiplied by its width. So we need to figure out what the length of this shaded area would be and what the width of this shaded area would be. And our clue here is that across the entire diagram is a length of 1. That length has been divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 equal pieces. One of those have been shaded in, so this shaded region right here is 1/8 of the whole. And then focusing on the width here. Again, if we notice that this side of the entire diagram is equal to 1 whole, we see that this side has been divided into 1, 2, 3 equal pieces with one of those pieces shaded in, which means the width equals 1/3. And so the expression that matches this diagram is 1/8 multiplied by 1/3. Dropping down, students have 3 expressions, and they need to find the value of each expression. And on the study guide here, it says draw a diagram if needed. I will have students draw a diagram for each of these expressions in addition to determining the value of each expression. And this message was relayed to students in class today. So looking at question 1, we are finding 1/4 of 1/5. Since 1/4 and 1/5 are both fractions less than 1 whole, we'll start by drawing just 1 whole. Excuse me. And we'll divide this whole into fifths, and we'll find 1/4 of one of those fifths and shade one of those pieces in, and that would equal 1/20. So, and I'll write the next diagram a bit bigger. For 2/3 multiplied by 3/4, again, because both factors are less than 1, I can show my diagram using just 1 whole. First, I'm going to show 3/4 of the whole. So first I divide the whole into fourths. Then I shade 3 of those fourths in, which corresponds to the factor 3/4. And then I want to find 2/3 of that 3/4. So I'm going to divide the 3/4 into 3 pieces, and then shade in 2 of those thirds. And so this diagram here tells me that the numerator in my product is 6, and the size of each of these sections here is equal to a 1/12. And we can see that a bit more clearly if we extend the thirds over the entire diagram. So the answer here would be 6/12, or 1/2 of the whole. And then question 3 here is unique because we have one fraction that's more than 1 whole. So 5/4 multiplied by 5/6. And because 5/4 is larger than a whole, we will need to use two diagrams in order to show 5/4. So I'm going to divide each whole here into fourths. Shade in 5 of those fourths. There's 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, and here's a 5/4. And I'm going to find 5/6 of those 5/4. So let me write my problem again back up here. So we have 5/4. We're multiplying that by 5/6. So I'm going to find 5/4 of this, or 5/6 of this 5/4 here. So I'm going to divide the 5/4 into 6 equal pieces as best as I can here. And then I'm going to shade in 5 of those sixths in. And if I count up how many sections I colored over twice, I get 1, 2, 3, 4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 20, plus an additional 5 here. It's 25 from my numerator. And then my denominator, again, corresponds to the size of one of these pieces. And it's tempting for students to consider the total amount of pieces in both models, but that wouldn't be accurate. The size of this piece, when we compare it to one whole, is 1 out of 24. So what we've shaded in here is 25 24ths, or as a mixed number, 1 and 1/24. Now, I was working with a student earlier today, and she worked out a very similar problem. But instead of drawing the two holes side by side, she drew one on top of the other. And so just like before, she partitioned each hole into fourths. She colored in 5 total fourths. And then she split all of her fourths into sixths. Colored in 5 of them. Extended these fifth lines across the entire second hole. And that helped her understand the size of these pieces were 24ths, because she was able to partition each hole into 24ths, and so she knew that each of these shaded regions represented a 24th. So if this orientation for the diagram helps students more easily see the correct denominator, that's fine. So the study guide has the answers to each question at the very bottom, with the exception of the 3 diagrams that go with the last 3 problems. So you will have to use the diagrams that I've drawn in this video as a reference. I hope this helps. Please message me on Remind if you have any questions, and feel free to reach me out or reach me using
email. Thank you very much for watching.